morning. Glad to have you join us on your program, NAFDAC and Your Health. My name is Harriet Parkinson. I sincerely want to believe you're still observing your social distancing and washing your hands with soap and water frequently. When soap and running water are unavailable, please use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your face, that is your eyes, your nose, or your mouth with unwashed hands. Above all, wear your face mask to cover your mouth and nose. It's not a chin mask, please. Now, have you been listening to radio or watching television of late? You must have heard countless reports on rape. The print and the social media have been inundated with the same saddened reports in recent time. Of great concern is the reality that it is all over the country. Before now, there have been cases of rape, but certainly not at this alarming proportion. It is like hell is let loose on the victims, screaming and yearning for help that is not forthcoming.
It's a very frightening situation. So when you take the rape and we're dancing around rape, it is the root of all the major deadly in this country. Somebody who will rape his mother and you are campaigning to him not to rape, don't you know that this person is depraved? He's no longer a human being that you can campaign to. So what led him to that point? It is the drug issue. Mothers get beaten by their own children in the house. Who will you tell outside? Fathers get beaten by their own children. Who will you go outside and tell? The challenges are humongous. They are huge.
A former Director General, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Otumba Lanre Ikpemisho, speaking on some issues influencing rape in the country. We talk about rape with different bodies and organizations demonstrating against it.
Asking for justice. If you rape one child, if you rape any human being, you are a criminal, an armed robber, a murderer. Whatever is the sentence for a murderer is your sentence.
Justice for all Nigerian women and girls.
Women must not die in vain.
But will demonstrations everywhere solve the problem? What is the root cause of rape? How can it be adequately addressed? Are the existing laws stiff enough to serve as deterrent? What is the role of NAFDAC in all of these? Well, I must say we have a full house tonight to speak on this burning issue. Let me welcome the newly inaugurated Nigeria Bar Association, that's NBA Chairman, Abuja Chapter, Hawa Shekarau. Thank you so much for joining us, Madam.
Thank you very much.
We also have with us a former Director General, NDLEA, Otumba Lanre Ikpemisho. He's waiting on the line. Nice to have you join us, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to speak with you.
And we also have Dr. Musa Umar, the Director, Narcotics and Controlled Substances, NAFDAC, all the way from Lagos. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And of course, Dr. Bakar Jimo is with me right here in the studio. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
I must not forget Miranda Nkasi, who is also here with reports on some key issues of NAFDAC across the country. We'll take this short break now. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Everybody shine your eye, shine your eye. No buy sugar, flour, vegetable oil, yeah. When no get vitamin A, I look. Food drink, when no get expiring dates, it no good.
Una no hear am? Sugar, flour, and vegetable oil wey no get vitamin AI logo and NAFDAC registration number. Na katakata for anybody wey chop am. Person wey use salt wey get iodine inside, im brain go dey sharp and im bone go strong kakaraka. Only iodized salt wey dey for small size pack with NAFDAC number and map of Nigeria na im good for body. Drugs, drinks, cosmetics, and foods wey no get NAFDAC number, manufacturer's address, and expiry date na danger zone be that o. No buy, no use. My brother, injection no better pass tablet o. If person give you drug wey no get label, no gree. Because now you're right to know the name of the medicine where you want to take.
NAFDAC, they want to make we take away.
NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Mama Yabo, this meeting we are going to attend in your brother's house because what is the focus?
Focus, Babu.
You know, so now I does not know what your brother is having in his head right now. You know, Okatunde is an Afadak man. He will always have something that is bothering him. I am afraid.
Guilty conscience. If you have no evil activities in your kitty, you do not have cause to be afraid now. Free conscience, fear no accusation.
But that was in those days. There are thousands of people in the nation's prison waiting a trial.
The prisons are meant for convicts, not for those that have not been tried.
Oh, but the reverse is the case here. That is why I am afraid. If they throw me inside that place, the case file will miss. And I will be. Mama Yabo, look.
Look what? Nene?
Look at my right hand side.
Egbami, what is this war turning into? Is this not a Malam's son?
Yes, he is. Oh, Yawa.
But what is he doing in this solitary place? And he's talking to himself. Sule!
Mama Yabo, do not talk to him.
Kilode?
He could be very violent.
What is the matter with him? Has he gone mad? Hey, this fine boy, the enemies are very wicked.
Which enemies? Which enemies? He is the enemy of him himself.
How?
Mama Yabo, listen, he came to my shop the other day. He purchased 7 bottles of Ogbukwara cough syrup.
What is he going to do with them?
He drinks them at a time and get high. No, that is no longer enough to make him high. He must have gone to take Igbo, or cocaine.
Yay, Mugbe. That is serious, Ke?
Exactly.
Where is Malam, his father?
Where else will he be? He must be at home now.
Whoa, let us go and see him. Jalori, let us go. Let's go.
But what about the meeting with Ogatunde?
This is more important now. Let us go, Jare.
Okay, no so bad run. Let us go. No, can you go see?
Wallahi, I am tired. Wallahi.
Who will not be tired with this kind of situation?
I did not know you have been trying your best to stop him.
Oh, I have tried, wallahi, I have tried. It is even his mama that called me and said, I have seen something inside Sule's school bag. Wallahi, tallahi, I go and check it for myself. What I see? Solution, mana.
Solution, Ke? Is it a solution to problems?
It is not that kind of a solution, Mama Yabo. This one is a substance. This boy, they will go and lick it and get high.
Chinedu Amaibo, there is no criminal thing that you do not know. Because you yourself, you are a criminal yourself.
No, Mama, no. I does not take drugs, no,
What? You do not take drugs, but you sell them, ko? You sell them.
Malam, you yourself, you sell a solution.
Both of you, listen to me. To rid this our environment of these hard drugs, we all, I mean parents, traders, community leaders, social workers, teachers, guidance, and every one of us must work together.
But wait, chere. Malambo's son learned how to take it. And when he was stealing a solution, the father was hawking.
Wallahi, Naturu, I even talk. But even me, I don't stop him. He go buy cough syrup. I go Chinedu shop, I tell the Chinedu, dan Allah dan Anebi, no sell cough syrup for my pikin, no sell cough syrup for Basuli. Chinedu, I like it too much money. Wallahi, I sell them. Now, my pikin, I don't talk to myself.
Malam, it is not true now.
Okay, that is all right. Now that we know what is happening, we have to take steps to stamp our drugs out of our environment. Else, our future is doomed.
How will from today make sure that children are not allowed to buy more than 1 cough syrup?
Even parents, listen to me very well. Do you know what your children are doing now? Sule started with stealing from the father and later graduated to taking cocaine. Watch what your children are involved in. They are the future of this country. Do not compromise it through negligence.
The program is NAFDAC and Your Health. Be part of the program by sending us a text or WhatsApp message to the number 0812-541-9549. The number again is 0812-541-9549. Thank you very much.
NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
In recent past, you pick a newspaper, all you see is screaming headlines like, police nabbed another suspect for allegedly defiling a minor. 2 Ebonyi minors held for gang raping 15-year-old girl. Court acquits man over prosecution's inability to prove case of rape. Child rape victims at risk of reproductive cancers, says experts. But how are the people reading and hearing all of these reports taking it? Our roving correspondent, Ayo Babatunde, brings us the report.
Don't touch my bomb! Don't touch my bomb! 717. That's the number of reported rape cases in Nigeria between January and May this year, according to the Nigerian police.
This has brought a lot of menace to our society. No one is at rest. Nobody is at peace.
The attacks have sparked an outcry by millions of Nigerians online and in the streets.
There seems to be an epidemic of rape against babies and children.
Rape is actually evil. People being raped right now is because the guys are actually being desperate to do it.
I sincerely believe that we must find a way of not only taking them to court, but also shaming them within the society.
Then it's really bad. Anybody who would indulge in this kind of act to face the consequences.
With the help of human rights activists, people are being sensitized on the reality of this global pandemic. Ayo Babatunde in Abuja.
Ayo Babatunde there with the views of some residents in Abuja on rape.
NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Now, the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team, DSVRT, in collaboration with the Nigeria Correctional Service, carried out a study of 141 rapists on what pushed them into attacking their victims. Out of the 141 convicts profiled, 89% of them take alcohol always. 9.9% are hard drug addicts. Could that be suggesting that drugs have a role in all of these happenings? Let's hear from the former DG, NDLEA, Otumba Lanre Ikpemisho. Thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much.
Also waiting on the line is the just inaugurated NBA chairman, Abuja branch, Hawa Shekarau. Thank you for your patience, madam. By the way, congratulations on your post.
Thank you very much.
All the way from Lagos, I have Dr. Musa Umar, the Director, Narcotics and Controlled Substances, NAFDAC. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Now, right here with me is the Director of Public Affairs, NAFDAC, Dr. Abubakar Jimo. Now, let's put a definition to rape. Mrs. Shekarau.
Thank you very much. Rape, as defined by the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act in Section 1, is defined as any person who intentionally penetrates the vagina, anus, or mouth of another person with any part of his or her body or anything else. That person has committed rape, provided the other person does not consent to the penetration or the consent is obtained by force or means of threat or intimidation of any kind, or by fear of harm, or by means of false and fraudulent representation as to the nature of the act or the use of any substance or additive capable of taking away the will of such person, or in the case of a married person, by impersonating his or her spouse. You see, the beauty of this definition in the VAP Act is that unlike what we have in the Penal Code, the Penal Code, the way rape is defined, only a man can rape a woman. But in the Nigeria of today and the society today that we have found ourselves, we have heard of men sexually molesting men, women sexually molesting men. And so this VAP Act is a revolutionary definition, and by its definition, a man can rape, a woman can rape. In other words, there is no limitation to the gender of the perpetrator. Therefore, rape, as defined by the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, completely prohibits any sexual molestation, sexual harassment, anything of the nature. Of course, it also includes other aspects of gender violence, such as stalking, psychological torture, and what have you. And so I am very delighted that I was one of the many women activists and women groups, including male champions, who really pushed for the passage of this Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act.
Okay, madam. Let's hear from Otumba Lanre. Now, people describe rape as a symptom, that is, the aftermath of the intake of hard drugs. As the former DG of NDLEA, what do you think could be the real issue here?
The level of drug abuse in Nigeria is such that the future of this country is being fretted away per second. People shout about this rape thing. In the nearest future, women will look for boys to rape them. With the drugs women too are taking. In the particular institution which I crave your indulgence, so permit me not to mention the name, in the Middle Belt, the university, these two girls, about 18 to 21, left their school well-dressed, well-robed, went outside the campus. As soon as they entered the taxi, they changed, and the taxi driver was looking through the mirror and seeing this girl. What is happening? They changed into this rag, and they were going to the hotel far away from the campus. So when they got midway, the car had a problem. So they sensed that they were going to miss the guys that were waiting for them in the hotel. So they called them. They said, okay, we have left the hotel. Go ahead and wait for us. We're coming. These girls paid for the hotel room, and they paid for these boys to come and meet them. And before they got to the hotel, they had gone to a pharmacy and bought Benelli with codeine. And they were gulping until they got there. By the time they got to the hotel, they discovered that these boys have left, but the rooms were there. They waited till about 11 p.m. for the boys. The boys didn't come. So they went downstairs and invited the taxi driver. They were supposed to pay him 2,000 naira, but they agreed to pay him 20,000 naira to stay the night. They went downstairs to go and call the man that, why are you inside mosquito here? Come to the room to come and have sex with them. Because they were already drugged in preparation for the boys were nowhere to be found. So when we start attacking these symptoms, we're wasting a lot of time. Go to the root of the symptoms.
So, Dr. Umar, from NAFDAC perspective, what role do you think drug is playing in all of these?
Well, the psychoactive substances, those drugs that actually enhance performance that are being abused for off-label indications are all suspect in these circumstances. And that the most harmful substances that pose serious risks to consumer health are also subject to criminal law, just like the illicit drugs that you have. But for the narcotics and psychotropic substances, while they are indispensable in the treatment of pain and management of terminal ailments, they also pose the risk of abuse. And that is why we must do all within our powers to make sure that people don't have easy access to drugs either through their family members or through their friends. And that is why we feel that, the legal classification of drugs, either as over-the-counter products or as prescription-only medicines, should be enforced strictly. And if you look at what is really happening, you find that the nature of the crime that is being committed, especially when people go in to defile underage girls, and some people even go in the unnatural way of sodomizing boys, you know that it is not within one's understanding. There must be something really wrong. The mindset and, the perversion in the society. So in that case, you always suspect that, yes, unless somebody is under the influence of drugs, certain things are not just natural and should not be expected. So, the behavioral sciences also come into play in the sense that as a society, we must not give the criminals or even the fraudsters that opportunity to commit the crime or to commit the fraud. For the drugs, especially, before the current reclassification of tramadol in India, and then, of course, the clampdown to the Presidential Advisory Committee, and of course, the awareness that NAFDAC has also created, that these things are not easily available and they are also not easily accessible. I believe the rate would have actually gone down. But again, you find that people come up with so many dangerous concoctions, things that are really not known, combination of products, cannabis with alcohol, and then all sorts of things. So these are issues that we need to understand, that we need to give people facts about drugs, because unless they know the facts about the drugs and face the facts, drugs can destroy the future generation of this country.
Dr. Bakar Jimoh, would you say drug has a part in the scourge today?
The phenomenon of drug abuse, or you call it hard drug, is a hydra-headed problem that has different dimensions and manifestation in every spheres of our public life. You can trace it from various perspectives. It's at the heart of some of the security challenges we have in the country today. It's at the heart of the heightened level of criminality in the country. And the recent one, which has been a recurring decimal, is the issue of rape. There is a nexus, a connection between drug abuse and rape, because rape is a deviant behavior. And at the heart of it also, if you trace it, try to see the factors that predispose people towards indulging in rape, are not too far from the issue of drug abuse. And also, to an extent, that is a kind of a psychotic behavior, a deviant behavior. So NAFDAC is very concerned, not just because of the issue of rape, but because of the devastating consequences of drug abuse. And that is why, apart from NAFDAC, we also have the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, and also recently the Presidential Advisory Committee on the Elimination of Drug Abuse, PACEDA, headed by retired General Muhammad Buba Marwa, also came to the front burner of the fight against drug abuse in the country because of the devastating consequences of drug abuse.
Madam Shekarau, you are the NBA Abuja branch chairman. I know you are very passionate when it comes to gender-based violence. What are your thoughts as regards the upsurge of reported cases of rape in the country?
The issue of increase in the violence or rape cases that we are hearing, we first and foremost need to thank God for the age of social media that we are in now. The reportage has increased. People are breaking the silence, and of course, social media is helping. Also, I truly believe that the increase in these cases is as a result of the impunity that is prevalent in our society. And another reason that I think is responsible for this increase is because the implementers of the criminal justice system have not been firm in ensuring that perpetrators are brought to book. Therefore, you find people who perpetrate this crime and they go scot-free. Or even when they are arrested, the next few weeks, you see them walking about and boasting that nobody can do anything to them. So I think that the police, the entire gamut of the criminal justice system must take this issue very, very seriously. And that is why I'm so excited and happy that the Federal Executive Council made this issue a topical issue in one of their meetings, and they came up with a resolution to declare a state of emergency on rape. You know, this to me is a right step in the right direction, and going forward, we want to see all hands on deck to ensure that perpetrators who perpetrate this sexual violence against our girls, against our women, against our boys, against our men are actually brought to book, and they face the wrath of the law. A lot of things have been in place. NATIP is doing a great job here. They have successfully put in place a sexual offenders register where people who are found guilty recorded in that sexual offenders register. And I think we need to go a step further by making sure that when anybody wants to employ somebody or when you want to engage anyone, the sexual offenders register is a place you want to go to make sure that that person that you want to engage is not a convicted sexual offender.
Now, a study the Lagos State Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team and the Nigeria Correctional Service carried out in 2015 was to know why people engage in rape. And NAFDAC and Your Health believes that tackling the issues from the root would serve the nation better than mere demonstrations on the streets. Like we told you earlier, 141 convicts were profiled. It was revealed that 89% of inmates were always under the influence of alcohol, while 9.9% were under the influence of hard drugs. Interestingly, 80.9% of the inmates revealed that they were abused as children, implying that they had become sexually active at an early age. Majority of the convicts sampled claimed that they were, however, not fully aware of the consequences of their actions, which implies that there should be massive advocacy or reorientation in the country to make people understand that rape is not normal or a small issue that can be overlooked, but put on the same pedestal as armed robbery, murder or kidnapping, which are all heinous crimes. 38% of the inmates sampled revealed that exposure to online pornography was an influence. Nude magazines, sex-themed movies and adult scenes were dominantly mentioned amongst the inmates who were active with pornography, according to that study. Most of the inmates confirmed that they were exposed to pornography below the age of 18. So you would agree with me that there is a lot to talk about as regards rape. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a date next week, same time. Otumba Lanre Kumisho, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Hawa Shekarau, NBA Abuja branch chairman, congratulations once again and thank you for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Musa Umar, many thanks for speaking with us on the program tonight.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
And not forgetting Dr. Abubakar Jimoh, who is right here with me in the studio. Thanks so much for being part of the program.
Thank you.
NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Now let's join Miranda Nkasi for NAFDAC update.
Thank you, Harriet, and thanks for staying tuned. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has warned business firms to desist from undermining its regulatory activities, but to take advantage of its ease of doing business platforms. The warning is contained in a statement signed by NAFDAC Director of Public Affairs, Dr. Abubakar Jimoh, in response to a recent online publication by the Association of Professional Freight Forwarders and Logistics of Nigeria, AFLON, on the mode of operation of the agency. He described the publication and comments made by the association's president as a deliberate, calculated mischief aimed at frustrating the anti-corruption system of NAFDAC. Dr. Abubakar said, in line with NAFDAC ease of doing business policy, importers and clearing agents were no longer required to physically move from one NAFDAC office to the other to process the clearance of their goods at the ports, but to do so through electronic means introduced in 2017. According to the NAFDAC Director of Public Affairs, the new system of online documentation and operations has enabled business firms and owners to clear their consignments without visiting the offices of the agency except on invitation. The statement advised the general public to disregard the utterances of the AFLON group, which it said were meant to undermine the genuine efforts of NAFDAC at curbing corruption in the imports clearance system. And that's it on the segment. Over now to you, Harriet, for the concluding part of the program. I am Miranda Nkasi.
Thank you, Miranda, for that update.
NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
And that's the size of the program tonight. If you have ever seen a victim of rape, I mean, those who are lucky to be alive after it, then you will appreciate why we all come together to fight drug addiction and abuse in the country. We'll be right back next week to talk about this issue on rape. It is very important. It is something that we really have to talk about. As we always say on this program, if you happen to see or know anyone or place where fake drugs are produced and marketed, please reach out to NAFDAC. Do you have any questions, comments, or you want to know more about the workings of NAFDAC? You can reach us on 0812-541-9549. Send us WhatsApp messages or SMS. You can visit the website of NAFDAC, www.nafdac.gov.ng. There you'll find information about NAFDAC and many other things you would like to know too. This is a production of Gado Agency Limited and proudly sponsored by the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC. Many thanks to the drama crew, Blessed Arolayo, Saint Osiagu, Abdul Fattah Otori, and Joke Ajibade. John Chukuma and Ayo Batunde assisted in the production. The program was produced by Godwin Odemije. Next week, Monday, is another time for you to join us for another interesting edition of the program, NAFDAC and Your Health. My name is Harriet Parkinson. Please stay safe.